Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. We are doing a collaboration with Tina from Life in the Piedmont. Y'all make sure you go by and check out her channel and all of the channels that are involved in this. Make sure you go by and watch all those videos in this collaboration because you're going to get some great ideas for homemade gifts in this collaboration. So it's called Gifts from the Home, and I'm going to be making a couple of different dips, and I'm going to show you several variations of homemade gifts that you can give from your pantry or your kitchen with this collaboration. And I will be using some thrift items and some discounted or clearance items that I pick up after the season's over with. And y'all will see it's very inexpensive to make. Now, I buy all my spices in bulk. We're going to do two different dips today, and then we're going to get into my living room and we're going to put the gifts together for underneath our Christmas tree. The first dip that I'm going to do is called a taco seasoning mix. I'm getting that from Make+A-Mix Cookery. This has wonderful recipes in it, and the recipe is found on page 43. I have increased my measurements to the side because I'm going to make it in bulk. And y'all need to grab a pen and paper right now. Stop the video, grab your pen and paper so that you can write down these recipes. So my ingredients are very, very simple. I've got my measuring spoons out here because I'm going to be using several different sizes. I'm going to be using a tablespoon, a teaspoon, a half tablespoon, or 1.5 teaspoon, whichever one you want to call it, and a half teaspoon. Okay, the first recipe is taco seasoning mix. Now this is going to be used for a dip, but it could also be used for taco seasoning for taco night in somebody's house. And so I'm going to use it as a dip. The first ingredient is minced onions. And I've got my big jar of minced onions here. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of instant minced onion. I have upped it to 2 tablespoons. And it calls for a teaspoon of salt, but I'm not going to use salt in my recipe because I have a daughter that has problems with salt. So I'm replacing it with celery powder. But you can use salt. It'd be 1 teaspoon of salt. But I'm going to use my celery powder. Let me get this oxygen absorber out of the way and add in just a teaspoon of that. Now that's going to add that salty flavor without adding the salt. And I'm going to use, well, it's supposed to be 1 tablespoon, but I'm not going to add a whole tablespoon to that. 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and then I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of chili powder. And so you want a good quality chili powder in this recipe. Calls for a half teaspoon of cornstarch, or I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons of my arrowroot powder. And the reason I chose that is because it's a little bit easier on your glycemic index. Not much, but it's a little bit easier. That's going to be your thickening agent. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of crushed dried red pepper. I'm using 1.5 tablespoons of red pepper. Get that in there. It calls for a half teaspoon of minced garlic. I'm using 1.5 teaspoon of my garlic powder. And then it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and I'm actually going to use 3/4 teaspoons. So I'm going to use this, but it actually has a 1/4 teaspoon in there also of dried oregano. So one full and one about half. And that last ingredient will be cumin, ground cumin. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. I'm going to use 1½ teaspoons of ground cumin. And it's here. I don't have any from my store that I go to. That's the wrong spoon. So let's get that in there. And we're just going to mix those ingredients together, and that is going to be our first recipe, y'all. So just give that a good stir. Break up any lumps of your starch that you put in there. And this will make 3 servings or 3 packages. And so I decided this year I'm going to put them in little baggies. And so I went and bought these sandwich bags with the flip top on them. I can cut off what I don't need of the bag, and I'm just going to put that in there. So it would probably, let's see how many we get out of this. I'm thinking 2 tablespoons per bag. Let's see, yes. Well, you could say 2 tablespoons per bag. I'm going to actually do this in the 2 bags for a gift. So about 3 tablespoons per bag. And you would use 2 tablespoons to make it into a seasoning for your taco filling. But I added a little extra in there. They can take a tablespoon of this out. I'm actually going to bundle this up. Okay, I cut off the top part of this. I still have the flap there. I'm going to go ahead and flap that over. That'll help keep the seasoning in there. And then we're just going to get this down into the corner of your bag. And use a bread tie and tie it. You can use a ribbon if you want to. And we'll label this. We'll get it in a little gift box. And there is your seasoning pack. Let me get the other one done. We'll be right back. This next recipe is my own recipe, or my own version. I dehydrated some cucumbers this past year, and I want to use some of this up. That's what it looks like dried, y'all. And so I want to make a cucumber dressing or cucumber dip. And I've got my ingredients written down, y'all, my scratch. I went to a couple of different websites and got ideas on what the measurement should be. And I do need a 1/4 cup. Let me grab that real quick. We got our 1/4 cup here. I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons of dill. And I forgot to pull out the dill. Let's go. Okay, I found my measuring cup, and the first ingredient in this is 4 tablespoons of dill. Now this is going to make quite a bit. And I do hope I picked out a big enough bowl for all this. Four tablespoons of dill. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now you can add more garlic to your taste if it's not enough for you. The idea is to have just that little hint of garlic. And we're going to take 4 tablespoons of our onions, or dehydrated onion. I'm using flakes. And 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Nope, that's the dill weed. Pulled the wrong one. Black pepper. And again, I'm not going to be using salt. I'm going to be using the celery flakes or the celery powder in place of my salt, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a teaspoon of this. And I need 8 tablespoons of parsley because we like parsley. Parsley is a very good diuretic. It's very healthy for us, so I'm hoping I got enough room in this bowl for all of this. Okay, so that is everything but the 1/4 cup of my cucumber powder. Let me get this little things out of here, and we're just going to measure this out real quick. So I think I need a bigger bowl. Let me grab a bigger bowl. All right, bigger bowl. And we're going to give this a good stir. And any clumps or anything in there, you want to kind of break them up. And if you could actually add more of the cucumber to this if you decided to do that. I think that's plenty for this though. Just to give it a little bit of that cucumber flavor. And it is home dehydrated. Okay, we got that mixed. So we're going to go ahead. This would be 1 tablespoon of dry mix per cup, and you could use it with Greek yogurt, sour cream, either one of those for dip, or you can add it to mayonnaise for a dressing with some buttermilk, or you can combine all 3 for an added flavor. So I thought I'd throw that out there. We're going to go ahead and just snip off the tops of these bags. We don't need that extra flap there. And I'm going to put enough in here for them to get a good, healthy little package. It smells so good, y'all. So I put about 4 tablespoons in there. And of course, again, I'm going to tie this up and I'm going to make it into a little dip package. And I'm going to show you some other dips that I've got over here. I'm going to go ahead and get those packages ready. And we're going to go over into our living room by the Christmas tree and check out all these dips and so forth. And there is the cucumber dip. Y'all, this is very, very delicious. It's reminiscent of some of the dips that I've gotten in the store. Very, very tasty. This is going in the refrigerator. And I have about 3/4 of a cup of my cucumber dip remaining. So that's going to be jarred up and put in my pantry. So I have some other dips that I've made in the past. I have a Southwest dip. I have a ranch dip. Very, very tasty. I actually have, looks like 2 different versions of a ranch dip seasoning here. So we could add those like they are. And then some other seasonings that I might want to give to them in a different type of basket would be a fried chicken seasoning that is on my channel. The Southwest and the ranch dip, I do believe, are on my channel as well. And a no salt seasoning. There's several different kinds of seasoning that you could do. And we're going to get these Southwest and this ranch done up, and then we're going to do our little packages up. Well, y'all, it's time to get these gifts together. And so I've got little boxes, and I've labeled them on the bottom with a sticky label as to what's in the boxes. So we're going to get, this one has taco seasoning in it. We're going to do the cucumber and ranch. I think it's I've done forgotten what I put where. Okay, these are the cucumber. So the cucumber goes in this box. We just stuff it in the box, y'all. That's all we're doing. And then in this box, I'm putting the taco seasoning. So again, I'm just stuffing it in the box. And this one gets a Southwest as well. So we're going to put 2 in that box. And I got these boxes on clearance at Hobby Lobby last year. Where did the other box go? There it is. And this one is the ranch dip. So the idea was to fill a basket. So there it is in the box. And these are really, really cute little boxes. You probably can get some at Dollar Tree as well. I'm not sure. I picked up this little basket at a church bazaar. It's got a handmade item label on that. And so they'll have a nice little basket that they can use elsewhere. And I picked up these cute little Christmas dip bowls. Brand new. I mean, they're brand new. So I'm going to set that in there. And then I'm going to just kind of stuff my boxes around that. And you might want to add, turn this around. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing yet. You might want to add this in there with maybe a nice spatula or something like that. Or maybe some Christmas towels. You could roll one of those up and put it in there as well, just to give it a nice full look. And I picked those up at the antique mall. So that would be the first gift. So really simple to put together. I didn't put a whole lot of money in this, maybe a total of $10. You know, thrift store shopping, I think we picked these up for $1 a piece, or maybe $2, I can't remember. I think they were $1 a piece, and they came with a little cutting board. I always check the items, you know, to make sure that they're in good condition if you pick them up at a thrift store. This was picked up at an antique mall. And then I'm going to place a label inside the bowl, just like that. Now I would saran wrap this, and that would be one of my gifts. We're going to take that out and move this aside. I have another basket that is also handmade. And so I thought, again, you could do your pot holder in there, some homemade brownie mix with the instructions on the package. You could give them, again, the little spatula, and you could actually fold your towel and kind of drape it over the side. Let me get it where I can get it in there like I want it. You could drape it over the side. And again, I also have pot handles that I can put in there as well. So I could stick one of those in there. You might want to add some canned fruit, or that's not canned fruit, where is it? Or a jelly in here. That would make a beautiful little basket. And I'm going to hold that up so you can actually see what I'm doing. So that would be, well, you can't see my jelly there. So that would be another gift idea using a gift basket. I'm going to take these out, and we're going to go to something else, because last year I did up gift bags, and I did up some big gift bags using the leftover cards. And so you could make a big package where you just kind of stuff everything into the package. If it's a family member, you could stuff your brownie mix in there, of course. But I pulled out some things that you could put in there. This is an onion bread mix. If you had somebody that loved bread, you could do up some different bread mixes and just stuff them in your bag. If you had somebody that likes home canned goods or relishes or anything like that, pickles, homemade squash relish, corn relish, anything like that could go into a big bag like this. We could give them a can of bean soup or chili mix or meals in jars, and that would make a wonderful little present for somebody. And I'm going to pull out the little bag. I also did some small bags. So if you had somebody that had a sweet tooth, you could actually do this with your gift bag. A homemade jam or jelly. This one is actually from the Amish community, labeled. You could throw in the brownie mix in there. You could throw in your spatula and your oven mitt into the package, or you could do it another way. You can also pick up these little baskets like this. They're quite charming, and they make a great basket to carry canned goods in. So I'm just going to pull the canned goods out of here and just set them in here. Let's do the bread and squash. Again, you would add in something like this to your basket. Maybe throw in a pot handle cover and a hand towel. Again, you would roll your hand towel up and set it in your basket. So that would make a nice little gift for somebody. And those are just a few ideas that I have, and I'm sure you're going to find more as this collaboration continues. Thank you, my friends, for watching, and may you be fully blessed.